Good afternoon, Gary.
Good afternoon, Rich.
How you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, how's things in Ryderville or Ryderwood?
Riderwood. Oh, pretty good. Our
Yeah,
water levels are up and everything's looking good. Beautiful sunshiny day today. Of course, it's
yeah,
supposed to rain
yeah.
all week.
It was supposed to rain hard all week. This is really 2 days in a row that the weather's been pretty nice, which is nice because my car is in the shop and broken down and nobody can figure out how to fix it. So that's been fun. That's only been going on for 2 weeks. So yeah, nice day out there. Maybe I'll get in my wife's car and put the top down, cruise around a little bit.
So we're going to talk about Jacksonville today, huh?
Jacksonville, the Jaguars. Is that how they say it?
Jaguars.
Jaguars. Is that how that's how they say it in
They
Britain?
pronounce the U across the pond.
Yeah, and they don't know how to spell football either. So yeah,
Oh, they don't even know what it is. Well, they're learning.
yeah, they are.
At least
I wouldn't be
London's
surprised.
learning.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised in the next decade to see a team in London and a team in Mexico City.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that happen. And I think those teams would be incredibly popular. You know, when we have those NFL games at Wembley Stadium every year, it's packed.
Yeah.
It's jam packed.
Well,
I think
Mexico
that could
wouldn't
be
be that far for road trips either.
no, it wouldn't be bad to go to Mexico City, and it wouldn't be bad for them either. And actually, the East Coast teams going to London, it doesn't take that long to pop over. What takes long is going across the U.S. You know, because I used to have to go to Ireland on business all the time, and it really wasn't too bad.
Now, speaking of long trips, what do you think about having to go to the East Coast to play an early game? Think
That's
that'll
going to be
affect us?
um. I don't think so. I mean, we'll fly in on Saturday, right? And they'll have a night to sleep, and yeah, I just don't think it's going to be an issue. These guys train for this kind of stuff. If their bodies can't make that adjustment for one game, then we're doing something wrong. So yeah, I don't think it's going to affect this game, especially this game.
Did you
Hey,
happen to watch uh, the Jacksonville Colts game?
I didn't, but I saw the Colts put up 31 on them, right?
I don't remember
Yeah, they beat them up pretty good. I
Foghorn
think it was
scores.
31 to 17 or something like that. I
I'll
did.
tell you, the stats of the game don't tell
Mm-hmm.
the story. The stats look like it's a real close game. And if you watch the game, it's not.
Really? So
They
you,
the Jags were never in the game.
yeah,
They did a little fumbling around there at the end of the game and looked like they were going to make a game out of it, but
yeah, they're 2-7. They've lost two of their last three games. Uh, and the one they just lost, of course, was the divisional game. So even more painful for these guys. You've got some interesting information on the Jaguars, Gary.
I think,
Can,
I think
can you
to
share
start
some
with,
of
I
that?
think that we'll be okay as long as we don't underestimate them.
Right.
We got to go in there like we're playing a team, which we are.
Play like we played last week.
Yes,
Same intensity.
yes. Well, since we're the Fogies, we do talk history,
We do.
and there's not a lot of history between these two teams. They've played each other 5 times,
It's amazing.
and we've won 3 out of the 5 times. The first time we played them was 1999, and we played them with Garoppolo. In 2017, we played him with Kaepernick. We played him with Smith. And The other loss, where is it here?
Garcia?
I'm having a hard time with my video lighting, doesn't work real well. Oh, the first loss in 1999, guess who the losing quarterback was for the 49ers?
99.
Eight.
I can't remember.
Eight.
Go just who?
8.
Oh, Steve Young?
Yeah, Steve Young lost the very
Is
first
that right?
game.
Wow. Interesting. I've got hanging right behind me here. I've got 2 of those quarterbacks right here. I got Steve Young signed football, and I got a really interesting Kaepernick lithograph with his signature on it. So I've got a couple of those guys sitting over my shoulder here.
Anyway, so Jimmy beat him in 2017. The final score was 30. Oh, I was wrong. It was 44-33.
Oh, man. That's no defense in that game, huh?
No. Well, you're 2017. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We
didn't have a lot of defense back then.
No, we were just starting to pick people up, right?
But so, Jimmy can't win a game with his arm.
Yeah,
unless he's playing a team that has a high score, then Jimmy does okay with his arm.
Yeah. Well, what other stats you got there? You had a bunch of stuff.
I just all the stats were is the games that they played, and that's all 5 of the games.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought they'd have a little more history than that. But, being around since 1999, that kind of cuts it down quite a bit. And then they're so far away as far as divisions go. So they just don't ever get together.
A friend of mine is actually a beat writer for the Jaguars. And he's a huge Warrior fan. That's how I got to know the guy. And he has a Warrior Facebook page that is probably followed by 250,000 people all over the world. Philippines Warriors are very popular there. So anyway, I don't want to talk about the Warriors, but I'm going to reach out to this friend of mine and see if he can give a little write up on what he thinks is going on.
Well, maybe he can just record a video and send it to us, and we'll put it in the podcast.
That would be great. I'll ask him to do about 2 minutes, and then I was actually going to go out for this game, but we talked about it the before the season started, and we both thought, well, nobody knows what's going to happen with COVID, so we'll skip it this time. But we hardly ever play him, so it's too bad. I didn't get to see my buddy.
Well, maybe we could get a video from him both before the game and after the game.
Yeah, let me check out what he's got going. He's got an awful lot going.
Well, if he doesn't have to Zoom it with us, if he can just record it and send it to us.
Right.
We had a guy do that a little while back. Oh, he was down in Northern California.
How'd that go?
And it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I'll talk to him and see if I can get him to help out. I was just reading his stuff this morning. And he's really good, and he's a really sharp guy. So I don't want to say his name yet. So
I think we'll be okay in this game as long as we don't overestimate what we got over them and underestimate them.
Absolutely. I mean, we're 4-5. They're 2-7. So I mean, we have a significantly better winning record than they do, but they're in third place in the AFC South. We're in third place in the NFC West. So, I mean, these two teams should be battling, but I think the Jaguars' season is over in terms of any chance of them making the wild card.
Well, they've got a good quarterback. Trouble is, he's a rookie.
Trevor Lawrence?
He's a rookie, and he plays like a rookie.
He sure does.
There's nothing you can do to change that.
No.
A rookie's going to be a rookie.
He is, and his last game was awful. He was 16 for 35 for 162 total yards. That, you know, if he plays like that, and a lot of it was just his play. It wasn't the defense on the Colts. It was just the way that he played. And
Buckner was in his face quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was in his face quite a bit. The poor kid didn't have a chance, you know. But I like the fact that they're starting him, and I like the fact that they're putting him out there, and I like the fact that they're saying, okay, you're going to be our guy. Because even if he loses like this, they're going to keep telling him, you're our guy. We expect this. They're in a rebuilding mode, and everybody in the league knows it, you know. So,
but you don't want to get him out there and get him hurt so he has some kind of a nagging injury as the rest of his career goes on.
Yeah, but how many? I mean, there's 4 rookie quarterbacks playing this year. You know, I mean, if he's the best quarterback, you play him, right? I mean, Russell Wilson, 3rd-round draft pick, comes in. They have an established quarterback, and they start the season with this rookie kid.
Yeah, if he gives you the best chance to win, you got to play him.
Yeah. And, you know, nobody knew he was going to be a Hall of Fame type of player. And clearly Russell Wilson's going into the Hall of Fame. You know, it was good coaching. It was a good decision. And they figured out ways to protect it. So, you know, I don't blame the Jaguars for making this choice, given that they've just.
Well, where are you going to watch the game?
You know, there's this place in downtown Vancouver. It's on Washington, right downtown. And it's called the Heathen Brewing Public Feral House. If you just remember Heathen, that's all you need to know. I'm going to watch it with a whole boatload of 49er fans. And I'm also going to be bringing some food for the food drive that ends this Sunday for Thanksgiving. What about you, Gary? Where are you going to watch it?
Well, I think I'm going to watch it there at the Heathen also.
Yeah?
I call it a full game experience.
It is.
It's like going to the stadium, only without a lot of the hassles. You don't have to pay to park. You don't have to walk from your car all the way in and then up to your seats. And they've got better looking food servers.
They sure do.
At the Heathen than they do in the games.
They're not only better looking, but they're outstanding. I mean, we get the best service. We get treated so well there. The owner, Sonny, is a huge 49er fan. He sits with us, watches the game, has his own friends and family that come along. We are a family club. We anticipate the people who show up will recognize that and act accordingly. And same on our Facebook page. You know.
Are there any raffles?
Oh, there are. After every quarter, we raffle off 2 items. At halftime, we have a kids raffle where we have some kids prizes. But you know, they're allowed to look at the table too. And the kids raffle is for free. Every kid that's 12 years older or younger gets 1 ticket. And at halftime, we pick 1 ticket, and that kid gets to go pick whatever he or she would like. And at the 2-minute warning, that's the big one. We give away a nice gift certificate right now. Looks like this weekend we'll give a $30 gift certificate for Heathen. So even though we go there to watch the games, I go there to eat because I enjoy their food so much. They have top-notch food there. It's not a bar food type of place. So that $30 gift certificate's a real nice one. But we've given away many, many things.
Well, what's your favorite drink there, Rich?
kombucha. They make their own. I love that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they have all different flavors. Every week it's a different flavor. And yeah, that's great. And if you're a beer drinker, they make their own beer, and there's usually about 30, 40 beers on tap. So so if you like football, if you like beer, if you like good food, if you like kids, come on out and join us.
And you know, the Heathen is the home of the Niner Empire, Vancouver.
It certainly is. It's the home of the Niner Vancouver, the Niner Empire Vancouver. That's who we are. And that's who we belong to. So come on out. Anything else to talk about with these Jaguars? I got one. I got one thing.
Okay, what do you
Trevor
got?
Lawrence is their number one running back. Not Trevor Lawrence. I'm sorry. He's the quarterback.
Foghorn.
Yeah, Foghorn time. Jamal Agnew is their leading rusher, and in the last game he had 79 yards and a touchdown on three carries. So I guess his average per carry was pretty big. But you know, if you're only getting 3 carries and you're the number one back, your offense probably is playing from behind a lot. And DraftKings, who I look at, I think they're the best house for setting the odds. They have the Niners winning 35-14. So that's.
And what did they have when the Niners played the Rams?
They had the Rams by 4. How many times are you gonna rub my face in that?
Yes, I watch the games. Then they do all the numbers and all of that stuff, and I just go by what I see. And I'll look at the numbers, but so many times the numbers don't tell the story.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Hey, real quick, injuries. San Francisco, Debo is questionable with a shin injury.
It's a shin hematoma.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. I would imagine he'll play.
You think?
Yeah. He's questionable. And you know what? They're probably going to be able to get him out of there for the fourth quarter. If the Niners beat these guys the way they should be able to rest Debo. Let's see who else is hurt. Moore is hurt. Elijah Mitchell had a pin put in his finger this week. Broke his finger in the last game. Had a pin put in. It makes me nervous. I mean, his hands are everything, right? And
which finger is it?
I'm not sure.
You know, in high school, we would just tape 2 fingers together.
This ain't high school.
No, but we played every bit as hard. Yeah, I wrestled with 2 fingers taped together. I've got bent fingers because of it. This finger will not straighten out.
Is that right?
Yeah. So it all depends.
Yeah, I don't think they want to rush him back for this game. I don't think they need to. You know, I could see them just did not play for this week for that guy. You know, because I think we can get plenty of rushing yards with Sherman. And I looked at the starters and second and third players this morning, and he's number 2. He's the number 2 back. I think he sees more carries. He's a big guy. So this would be a chance to see what he can do. But if they can take this week off with Elijah Mitchell, I think it's a good idea. Any thoughts?
Well, I think he's going to want to play.
Oh, sure. I think so too. He's having a really good year. So yeah, I would think he'd probably want to play too. So Jaguars, D. Allen, the linebacker is questionable with a shoulder injury. And some guy named Can is on injured reserve with a knee injury. And that's it. So they're pretty healthy, assuming that other people weren't placed on season-ending IR earlier this year. They appeared that their squad right now is pretty healthy. That doesn't seem to make much of a difference. I looked at this is interesting, Gary. Let me go through this real quick though, and then give me your thoughts on this. So I was looking at stats, and just 4 stats: passing, rushing, receiving, and touchdowns. So passing, Jimmy Garoppolo, 1,936 yards so far on the season. Lawrence on the Jaguars, 1,983. And he's actually got 47 more yards than Garoppolo does. Mitchell on the Niners, 560 total yards on the season so far. Robinson on Jacksonville, 539. So again, very, very close.
But what are the total rushing yards for the team?
For the team, I don't have that down. I just took their top 4 players for each position and put that down. Here's the difference. So Deebo Samuels is our number 1 quarterback or number 1 receiver, obviously. His receptions alone are 979 yards. So that doesn't include any of the rushing plays, any of that. So just receiving, he's got 979 yards. Matt Jones Jr. For Jacksonville has 434 yards. So he's got less than half of what Deebo Samuels has. And that's a killer number. But if we get down to touchdowns, because that's what these games are about, right? Is getting into the end zone. Samuels has 5 for us. He leads the Niners. And the running back, Robinson, from the Jaguars, leads their team with 6. Any thoughts on that, Gary? Because
well, if you spread the ball around, you're not going to have a lot of touchdowns to the same guy.
Yeah.
And if you're playing slop it up at the end of the game, the other team's playing off and everything else, it's really going to skew the stats.
Absolutely. And
so if you go out and get way behind, and then the 4th quarter, you're going to look like great in the stat column.
Right.
But when it comes to the final points, do you happen to have total points for the year?
I don't. I saw it though, and it was pretty close. So I apologize for not having it. I think just what you're saying, always being behind in the 4th quarter for a team that's got this record. I think that's why Lawrence has more passing yards than Garoppolo, even though it's just 47 yards. It's going to be on his shoulders in the 4th quarter.
Well, plus they're not the running team that the Niners are either.
They're close. They're awfully close. The stats are close. It's overall the receiving stats that are
overall running yards.
I don't.
So you can't say only their top guys close. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. How many guys have we had running for us this year?
Yeah, we've had a few, but
Deebo does a lot of running too.
He does, but who rushes the ball most? Mitchell does, right? So anyway, I just went with those 4. We could go down the barrel with stats. So
that's why I'm not much of a stat guy. I like to look at them. It's kind of nice, but Well, I was shocked when I looked at the stats of the Colts Jags game.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that the stats looked like it was a tough and tumble right to the wire game, whereas not what I saw. That is not what I saw.
No, and the score didn't reflect that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, buckle your belts and hope our guys get out there and go for it instead of.
I have one more thing to add.
Okay.
One thing, and you're not going to believe that this is coming out of my mouth, Gary, but I think Shanahan kills Urban Myers this weekend. I think Shanahan completely outcoaches that guy. I think Urban Myers is way over his head in the NFL and should go back into college football.
Speaking of rookies. Oh.
Yeah, right. This is his first year, right? But he's getting killed. And the Jaguars are angry. There's problems in the locker room. You read about them all the time. So if Urban Myers has lost the locker room already halfway through his first season, he's another Chip Kelly, right?
Yeah.
And I think Shanahan destroys this guy with a game plan. I think the Niners win big. I think the Niners win by 7 points. Predictions?
Well, I don't do that. I think the Niners are going to win. I'd love to see them have it wrapped up by halftime. That's what I'm looking for.
That'd be nice. That's what I was saying earlier.
Get some of the younger guys in there, give them a chance.
Get younger guys in there, get Ayuk more targets, and let Debo rest a little bit. I mean, he's banged up. Let's get him back to 100%. And sitting on the bench is a good way to do that. So, yeah, let's have it done by halftime and start playing the young guys, And if it's really done at the end of the third quarter, put Trey in there. Let him run some plays, Let him see what he can do against a lousy team.
Even with a little history, you have a future.
That's right. Sounds like you're taking us out of here, Gary.
Yeah, it sounds like it's about that time. We beat this horse about as much as he can be beat.
They're gonna get beat this weekend, though. We're gonna have some scared kitties with those Jaguars. So anyway, Gary, have a great rest of your week. I will see you. Where am I gonna see you?
I'll see you at the Heathen.
That's right.
Downtown Vancouver.
Downtown Vancouver on Washington. Come down. Watch the game with us. Be part of the 49er empire.
Have a kombucha.
Have some kombucha. Drink tons of beer. Respectfully and carefully, of course.